there's a brand new open world monster tamer game that is officially in closed beta right now. If you haven't heard about Kewlbiverse, you are missing out on an amazing adventure. In this video today, we're going to break down everything you need to know about Kewlbiverse so that you can be ready for the game's full launch. In addition, while there is a lot of things I like about the game, I'll also try to be fair and share what needs improvement as well. Sit back, grab yourself a cup of hot cocoa, and let's do this. Kewlbiverse is a chill open-world pet adventure currently available for iOS and Android. As you will see, the gameplay is quite similar to Palworld, which if you don't know, I have covered extensively in the last year. As much as I've loved playing Palworld, I have equally loved playing this game during the CBT, and it has a lot to offer. Let's start by describing the beautiful world in which these Fabi reside. Sadly, I can't quite give it justice that it deserves. As a disclaimer, my phone is pretty old at this point, so the graphics displayed in this video are on the lowest possible setting. But that also goes to show that the game is pretty decently optimized. Anyway, as of the CBT, there are over 90 cute different Fabi species that you can encounter throughout the pretty decently sized map. What's really cool about these Fabi is that each one has tons of different interactions and behaviors, both with the player and other Fabi. This goes even deeper though, as was the case with our beloved Palworld. Skill passives, leveling, etc. are all existent to make your squads and Fabi stronger. One of my favorite Fabi is one of the first ones you get, this OP lad named Chibber. Plus, he's quite adorable. To be honest, I pretty much like all of the designs of these critters so far, and haven't really seen any duds or ones that I haven't enjoyed. When we get to the combat section, I'll describe their mechanics in a bit more detail, like the battle system, leveling it up, fusing, etc. For now though, just know that there's a lot of different combinations you can use with these Fabi, since it's a party of 4, and every battle is featuring 2 Fabi at the same time. The world and the lore itself also feature a lot of the same mechanics as our beloved Palworld, but still have some differences. Since it is open world and the map is actually pretty expansive, there's a ton to do. There's already 4 confirmed areas as of this flavor text in this loading splash art. As of the CBT, I had a chance to explore 2 of these areas. The story starts with you learning the ropes in a pretty straightforward tutorial. I won't spoil anything here, but within a few hours of playing the game, I was able to take down the first main boss, getting a key. That may prove to be quite important later on. As for the actual overworld, like I mentioned, there's a lot of different fun things to do. Of course, you have the normal catching of Fabi, traversing the landscapes, but there's also mini challenges, hidden bosses, and more. For example, these overworld bosses seem to be on a timer, so that you can keep repeating them or catching them to meet your required entries in the Fabriary. This is basically just your Pokédex, but you can also get more rewards here from completing different missions for each Fabi entry, similar to Legends Arceus. Another massive part of the game is the building, crafting, and base systems. The base itself is actually pretty intuitive and much more simplified than some other games in the genre. Once again, the tutorial does a good job of preparing you in this process. At first, you'll start off by selling all of the produce from the farm patches to the coin stand. These coins and Stardust are used as the primary resource of the game, specifically for base management. They allow you to level the base, craft different structures, buy items, you get the picture. To help you with all your base duties, the Fabi will also join in. These are pretty similar to Palworld. There's planting, handiwork, logging, mining, cooling, husbandry, etc. At any time, you can see what these Fabi specialize in by scrolling through their registry or different menus. This right here is just the base interface where you can set out your Fabi to work. At least for the early game, you're definitely going to want to make sure you have a Fabi mining and logging at pretty much all times, as those will be very important to leveling up base structures. You'll also have to make sure these working Fabi are satisfied to keep them from slacking off. Similar to Palworld, there's a hot spring, beds, etc. to help you keep the Fabi happy. Ultimately, your base has a lot of different freedoms to build how you want to build. For instance, I tend to have my bases be a bit more practical than pretty, even though there's a lot of different combinations and customization options. You have access to furniture, sofas, wallpapers, etc. to make your home feel like a home. It definitely has an Animal Crossing vibe with the amount of different ideas you can already implement. Another system I briefly got a look at was the shop. For now, this was pretty inaccessible other than what seemed to be a few things since it is in CBT. It seems there will be a nice skin for one of the Fabi that I haven't met yet available for purchase. That's right, Fabi skins are confirmed, and I think I love that. Hopefully that means there isn't any pay-to-win elements specifically for the seasonal PvP we'll discuss later in the video. Early indications seem to be that this will exclusively be cosmetic or pay for convenience in nature though, which will be fantastic. Now let's dive into all of the systems that you will encounter in Kewlbiverse. Starting with the control scheme, it fits just okay for its current release on iOS and Android. While I would love to see a PC release, for now it does run pretty decently on mobile. Even my dinosaur phone was able to run this. For reference, my phone struggles with all sorts of mobile games, but was able to stream this to my PC through OBS without a lot of issue. But here's one of my biggest concerns with the game. While the control scheme itself is fine, a lot of the UI and layout choices can definitely be tweaked. While these aren't game-breaking or anything, they can sometimes be a slight disappointment. For example, when trying to talk to an NPC, sometimes the button to click won't appear right away, unless you have it lined up perfectly. This can also happen when a Fabi walks in front of your field of view, but most of the time I was just hitting the issue as a normal occurrence. I'm not too worried though, that can obviously be changed fairly easily. In my testing, I actually didn't run into too many bugs or any severe crashes that prevented me from playing the game. So I gotta give big props to the developers, because it seems like they know what they're doing. Eventually, I would love to see a PC release for the game as well as crossplay. The UI and systems overall seem to be well crafted enough to support it, and it's still very early in the lifespan of this game, so it'll be exciting to see what they cook up. For the rest of the UI though, it can be tough at times to find certain menus that you need. The game does a good enough job of showing you everything, but it's very easy to get overwhelmed with so many different menus. Luckily, once you're at the correct menus that you want, they are pretty simplistic and straightforward in nature. They're concise and clear enough to know what each menu is for and what you're supposed to do with them. Now let's talk about one of, if not my favorite system in the entire game, combat. Kewlbiverse features a squad of 4 Fabi that you can bring with you. However, what's really neat is you can swap them out with your standby Fabi at any time outside of battle. This is extremely helpful when needing to be prepared for the different typings in the game. Here is the pretty straightforward matchup chart. As you would imagine in a game like this, you can do a few things to make your Fabi stronger. Of course, leveling them up is the priority, but it gets much deeper. For instance, you can fuse Fabi to unlock permanent stat boosts. This is unlocked fairly early in the game and is used when having multiple of the same Fabi or these tiny little crystals. Each Fabi also has their own talents, passives, and skills you can use. For instance, the cute little Chibber is pretty OP in the fact that it can consistently heal you and your fellow Fabi of your party. Believe me when I say I abused the heck out of this throughout my playthrough. So far, I didn't get a chance to use every single ability in the entire Fabriary, but I can only imagine the different team compositions that you can use to perfectly balance out an amazing squad. As for the player, the game is extremely similar to Palworld in the weapons and items you can craft to aid in battle. Bows, melee weapons, and of course, guns. In fact, the pistol is unlocked really early in the game, around the time it takes to defeat the first main boss. Something interesting with Kewlbiverse is the seasonal system. This stems from an already included PvP mode in which you can either battle Fabi versus Fabi or human Fabi tag team battles. In addition, there are also ultra hard instances available in the game in which you can team up with other players to take them down. This leads us into the multiplayer systems available in Kewlbiverse. It's really nice that the game is innately launching with the system in place, but I personally would love to see it expanded. Overall, I think the game is headed in a really good direction so far, and I don't have a lot of complaints. But there you have it for a general overview of all the systems and technology inside Kewlbiverse. I think the game has a ton of potential and is already in a pretty solid state, considering it's just now starting to be known and come out of the woodwork. Definitely apply to join the CBT if you can and enjoy the game as well. For now though, let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and I look forward to discussing the game with you all. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more Kewlbiverse guides, gameplay, and more. I can't wait to continue making content for you all, especially since I've pretty much done everything in Palworld. Thanks so much for watching, and bye for now.